Be able to talk to Mike Price, the CEO of First Commonwealth Bank. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Mike, good morning.
It's good to be with you, Todd.
It's good to have you back on the air with us, too. Of course, First Commonwealth Bank is the title sponsor of Indiana in the Morning, so we like to reach out to you, catch up with you every once in a while. And, wow, how about this? Designated again as a world's best bank. That's 2 years in a row. Is it 2 or is it 3?
It is 2, and we're really proud of the team. We have great employees that really take care of our customers, and it shows in this survey.
Yeah. Well, what's it mean to you as a banking institution when you're recognized by another organization that has so much connection within the financial world that they think so highly of you?
It's important, particularly at this time where we've been through this COVID crisis and funk, and it's meaningful. And particularly for the things that they've recognized us for, it's important to our community banking roots, things like trust, keeping our word, competent, terms and conditions, being transparent with fees and customer service, and having good digital tools. So it kind of strikes to the heart of our mission to improve financial lives of our neighbors and businesses, and it's just recognition of that. And it was independent. It was a third party. Surveys were voluntary, so it is meaningful. And bankers are not used to getting much recognition, so... Thank you for asking.
Well, I said a couple of minutes ago, I said bankers are rock stars now in this world because you're the folks that people are turning to help dig out of what is a very, very deep financial hole all across America. It's an unprecedented time for the world as a whole, and certainly within your industry it has to be unprecedented, correct?
It is unprecedented. We've essentially shut down the economy for going on 90 days and had a significant impact, particularly on our small business partners, and we have a lot of small businesses at First Commonwealth, as do other community banks. So it's been sobering, and rock stars is an interesting term. I guess it is, there's some gravity to helping people through thickets in tough times, and it's what we try to do and be helpful.
Well, maybe lighthouse would be a better way to look at it because certainly people look for that sort of guidance through some very dark times. A few months ago, we had on the air with us your Dave Reed and Pennsylvania's Attorney General Josh Shapiro, and we were talking about the Attorney General's PA Care Package that First Commonwealth was very, very quick to sign on to, one of the first, if not the first, of the banking institutions in Pennsylvania to sign on to this package. How has that worked? How can folks be helped by the PA Care Package?
Well, we thought it was important to sign on because the encouragement and challenge was to reach out to clients, both consumers and businesses, and from our branches to our commercial lending officers, we did that, and offer them, have good conversations with them, and if so needed, offer payment relief, 30, 60, 90 days, whatever it takes to get a small business or a consumer through this crisis. And ourselves and, quite frankly, a lot of other community banks did just that. And I think it was really important to households.
Yeah, and I would guess, as I have seen more and more banking institutions sign on to it, that it's a reassuring thing for businesses to know that there are folks there that can back them up when they find themselves in a pretty deep hole.
That's right. I mean, I think at our best, I think we feel like we can make a difference individually with a household or a business. And it's important that we're there for them. And the term in our industry is forbearance. And that is where we just, we're patient and thoughtful as we should be. And a lot of those requests came through our call centers, which have been just lighting up for the last 90 days. And I'm really proud of the work. We have a call center right here on Philadelphia Street, and our team is just terrific.
I don't want to go into the boardroom because, frankly, those numbers and those terms that would be flying around would go completely over my head and knock me over. But if you could take us inside the banking institution, and particularly inside First Commonwealth offices, and talk about how you reacted initially and how those initial reactions have been refined for COVID-19. I would guess that there are a number of programs that you've looked at, a number of different procedures that could be followed to help you and to help your customers deal with the pandemic.
Yeah, it was really, honestly, Todd, it was day to day. It was, our political leaders did their best, and by and large, they did a terrific job, and we just tried to follow their counsel. And the Council of Health Organizations, our local hospitals, IRMC, and just keep our customers safe. And whether it was over literally a weekend, adjusting to mask, new hours, amping up our drive-throughs, there was a myriad of things, and we responded quickly and just did the best we could, as did everybody. And there was a lot of effort that went into that. It seemed like we were 24/7 for about a month and a half.
People are, well, let's put it this way. Folks want to be able to live their lives without having to stop and think about the various really technical aspects of their lives, and particularly in finances. We want to know, okay, here's my bank account, here's whatever, I have a mortgage, here's this. It's taken care of, and I know that the bank is on top of things. I know that I'm on top of things. I make my payment at this time, and the bank takes care of that, and everything needs to work smoothly in the financial world. Has it been more difficult for folks, or have they expressed any difficulties that they have had that you've been able to work out with them to reassure them that in these difficult times you're still there and you're still doing what you've always been able to do for them and more?
Yeah, I think our digital tools have been really helpful, and the usage of those tools has skyrocketed. So they have been able to see what's unfolding in their accounts and their personal circumstance. I also think our customers, particularly here in Western Pennsylvania, are a pretty frugal lot, and they're very thoughtful. So we really encourage our customers to avoid unnecessary debt, save for a rainy day, and live within their means. And by and large, they've done that, which I think has enabled them through this circumstance. Just going back to the Great Recession a decade ago, Western Pennsylvania and these counties that we're privileged to work in did quite well because of that. They pay their bills and they avoid debt.
Talking to Myron Stauffer yesterday from the Office of Planning and Development about the business survey of business folks here in Indiana County and the 10 counties in which that particular survey were counted. And he said that the business community here in Indiana County seems really optimistic in comparison to some of the others about the ability that we're all going to have to recover, businesses to reopen and to get back to making money and staying a vital part of folks' lives. Do you have that same optimism?
I do. I mean, I just walked Philadelphia Street just last week and talked to a couple friends and store owners, and they are optimistic. And I think also there's a sense in Indiana County and places like it that you try to buy local. I know I do. And I think they feel that. They feel supported. The proof will be in the pudding. We need to show up and support them and make good choices to make sure our Philadelphia and our Main Street look like they did before the crisis, because it's such a treasure to be able to walk outside of my office and whether it's eat and restaurant options or other things, it's just phenomenal for a town of our size.
Really is. It's pretty amazing. But one of the things that we know is that First Commonwealth Bank is not just, in First Commonwealth Financial, we're not just Indiana County, headquartered in Indiana County, but the reach is so far, and different regions are going to have different needs and different reactions. I know that that's something you have to consider in the way that you run your operations as well.
It is, and but really the heart of the company is here. This is where most of our employees, I think, our values of small towns and in the care, I think, carry over to our more metropolitan markets, namely Pittsburgh, Columbus, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. But really, also, this might surprise you, probably half of the funding in the company comes from these rural counties in Western Pennsylvania, because people tend to be savers. So this is like the breadbasket of our bank. But you're right, the needs are different.
Yeah, well, that's an amazing revelation there, that we're such a key part here in our rural counties, and people that might be counterintuitive for a whole lot of people. They might say, we're not a big city, we don't really have an influence. But the rural counties come together, and it's sort of like those consortiums. It's buying power when you think in those terms, and in this case, it's savings power as well.
Yeah, the other important item is just the employees. I mean, they show up for work, they care, they're thoughtful, they're kind, they're really grounded. The work is important to them. They're innovative. And that's really another attractive element. I mean, part of our company is just the good people here, and that's really all a bank is its people. And they responded nimbly, and they worked incredibly long hours through this crisis.
Mike Bryce is the CEO of First Commonwealth, and he's with us here this morning on Indiana in the Morning. Indiana in the Morning, of course, our title sponsor is First Commonwealth Bank. So, Mike, where does the company go from here as the state's economy begins to reopen, and you have certainly a vital role to play there, but then you're thinking long-term as well. What's the future hold for the next 6 to 12 months for First Commonwealth?
For the next 6 to 12 months, all of us hope that the economy really gains momentum, and we have the opportunity to see our businesses and our consumers thrive and do well financially, and enable their kids and their grandkids and all those things that are important to us. And we're a small part of that, but I think an important part.
Well, you told us as well about digital. So for folks who want to learn more about how they can use First Commonwealth's digital services, their online services, what's the best way to go about that?
You know, everything from just getting on our site, and there's some tutorials and some other tools they can use, to just asking for help from someone at a branch or a call center. And it's fairly intuitive, and it's incredibly easy. You know, if you want to make a deposit, you take a picture of your check, and it prompts you in terms of the dates and the dollars and the things to fill in. And once a person has done it for the first time, they just kind of chuckle and they say, man, that was easy. And so the technology is pretty intuitive, and it's not intimidating.
75 banks in the United States got the Forbes Magazine World's Best Bank for 2020 designation, 450 banks worldwide from 23 countries. Do you get a crown or anything like that?
No, and we don't expect it. It's just some nice recognition for things that we would do even without the recognition. And there's 4 terrific community banks in this town that do exactly the same thing.
Absolutely right. We're a very blessed community to have that as sort of our financial footprint. And we appreciate so much that you've been able to spend so much time with us here this morning. I hope that it's been helpful to you. It has to me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It really is. And thank you for all you do for our community, the way you keep people informed and engaged. This is important.
Yeah, well, it's our pleasure, and I appreciate those kind words. Mike Price, have a wonderful day today.
Hey, thank you so much. Take care.
All right, bye now. All right, bye now. All right, bye.